What's up, you guys? Welcome to my third trimester recap. I'm about to have this baby anytime now, but I wanted to make sure that I film this third trimester recap because I'm almost 39 weeks pregnant. I'm in the 38th week of pregnancy, and I have a feeling when this baby gets here, life is gonna be a whirlwind, and I'm not gonna have like the mental capacity to sit down and film this in a timely manner. So I thought, why not film it now? Not much should change in the next week and a half, other than hopefully having this baby. So if you are interested, hi Miss Ava, if you are interested in hearing all about my third trimester and kind of just a recap week by week how it went, be sure to keep on watching. First and foremost, Ava has gotten very clingy, so she's gonna be just probably hanging out around me this entire video. But you know, I figured we have to film it or it's never gonna get done, and this is definitely something that I want to remember later down the road. So I am tired, I am achy, I am very large and in charge, but I'm very excited. So just like my other videos, I did keep a log of my pregnancy journey, kind of week by week, and I'm gonna dive right in and kind of just share with you what I was experiencing each week through pregnancy. So second trimester started at 29 weeks. So at 29 weeks, the baby was the size of an acorn squash, measuring about 5.2 inches, 2.5 pounds. In this week, baby's growing white fat deposits under his or her skin, and his or her energy is surging because of it. At this point, we already knew we were having a baby girl. I did have my glucose test that week. I passed it, thank goodness. I only had to take that like 1 hour test or whatever, and it really wasn't bad. I had the clear glucose juice, whatever it is, and it tasted like very flat Sprite, in my opinion. It was not near as bad as anyone made it out to be. Of course, I was like super shaky and jittery after, just because my body's not used to that amount of sugar. But aside from that, it really wasn't terrible in my opinion. I started feeling her move a lot more like lower that week as well. This whole pregnancy I've carried very high. It's funny because I thought that I was carrying super low just because I was feeling her move so low. But when I look at pictures, she's like been super high up until the last couple weeks. At 30 weeks, baby is the size of a zucchini, 5.7 inches, 2.89 pounds. And what it says is at this stage, she is strong enough to grasp a finger. So if you were to like put your finger out, she could have grasped it. That week we did a 4D ultrasound with our families, and oh my gosh, I made a video on that, but if you are ever interested in doing that, please do it. It was such an incredible experience. It was so cool to be able to take our families, and like, this is the first grandbaby on both sides, and not that that makes a difference, but everyone is just like super excited, and it was really cool to be able to take Jacob's whole side of his family and my whole side. We took my grandparents as well, and to just see the baby. Like, I'm so eager to see if she looks anything like the 4D scans. If so, she's gonna look just like Jacob, which I'm not mad about. 31 weeks, baby's the size of an asparagus, 16.1 inches, 3.31 pounds. It said this week she was going through a major brain and nerve development, eye development too. Baby's irises now react to light, so they say like if you were to put a flashlight up against your stomach, they might move towards it or away from it because they can sense that light, which is crazy. They have all 5 senses now working. This week I went to Arizona, so this was the last week of travel for me. I went to Arizona for a work trip. I did experience like a little bit of swelling in my feet that week, but I think it was just because we were so go, and of course I was like flying, which dehydrates your body. But as soon as I got home, I was good to go again, and it was just a Wednesday through Sunday, I believe is what the trip was. Absolutely amazing trip. I will say I was nervous. Like, it was at the very end of 31 weeks, so right into 32 weeks. And I was like very nervous for some reason that I was gonna go into labor. Obviously that didn't happen. She's still cooking in there, but I had so much fun, and it was really cool to be able to go see my friends before this little one arrives. At 32 weeks, she's the size of a squash, 16.6 inches, 3.75 pounds. Baby's getting ready for his or her descent and is likely in the head down position. She was in the head down position at our 4D scan, and she has been head down ever since. And she's probably feeling more and more cramped in there, which is funny because that was like 6 weeks ago. So can you imagine how she feels now? I was super, super tired that entire week. I wrote that I was getting Braxton Hicks. They were getting a lot stronger at this point. So I've been experiencing Braxton Hicks contractions from I think the very first time I experienced it was when I was in Indianapolis this summer, which was around 17 weeks. And obviously baby was like super tiny at that point. But I just remember my stomach getting very hard, and I've experienced that ever since then. Literally every single week since then, basically every single day. So it'll be really interesting when I go into labor, like what the difference will be for me, because I get them all the time, especially towards the end of pregnancy, a lot more stronger. But I can still breathe through them. I can still live my life through them, so they're not like active contractions, but they were getting a lot stronger in the 32-week mark. And I felt like when I was walking, so I walk this little one every single day. I feel like when I was walking her, my walks were a lot slower. They weren't near as quick paced as they typically were. And I think that's just because baby was like moving down into the birth canal slowly but surely. 33 weeks, baby's the size of celery. I don't understand these fruit and vegetable correlations, because like, how do you go from a squash to an asparagus to a celery? Like, celery stalks to me are very small, but you know, whatever. 17.2 inches, 4.19 pounds. It said that baby's keeping her eyes open while awake, also starting to coordinate breathing with sucking and swallowing. The bones are hardening. At 32 weeks, I started drinking raspberry leaf tea, which is supposed to help with labor, not necessarily like inducing labor, but when you go into labor, it's supposed to like have trained your uterus to do its job better, apparently. Plus I just like tea, so I figured why not. So I started drinking raspberry leaf tea at 32 weeks. At 34 weeks, baby's the size of a butternut squash, measuring 17.7 inches and 4.63 pounds. Baby is recognizing and reacting to simple songs if you sing to them. Baby may be finding some of them soothing after birth. Says that at this point, baby is also urinating about a pint a day, which is wild. And this is when I started feeling the baby move way more aggressively. So obviously I've felt her move since like the early 20s weeks, but I started feeling like a lot stronger movements at this time. She's always been super chill. Hopefully that continues past when she is born and she's just an easygoing baby. But at 34 weeks, I really started feeling some strong movements, which is cool. At 35 weeks, she's the size of a pineapple, 18.1 inches and 5.07 pounds. Now hearing is fully developed and baby responds best to high-pitched noises. I started waking up at that 35-week mark every single night for like 1 to 2 hours, and it was awful. Awful. I would wake up to go to the bathroom and I'd get in bed and just be wide awake for literally an hour or 2 hours. And what sucked is normally it would happen around like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So by the time I got back to sleep, it was like time to wake up for the day, which obviously I work from home, so I can kind of sleep in if I choose to. But I was so frustrated by that. Thank goodness it was only about a week and a half that happened, and then it went away. At 36 weeks, the baby is the size of a papaya, 18.7 inches and 5.73 pounds. She's getting closer and closer to being able to breathe on her own. Baby's skin is getting smooth and soft and gums are rigid. At 36 weeks, oh, also at 35 weeks, I had my baby shower. So that was tons of fun. I had family come from all over, and we had a baby shower just here at my house, which was super nice because we moved this summer, so it was nice for people to be able to see our house, for me to not really have to leave the house, and especially with all the gifts and stuff, we were able to just kind of organize it and not have to transport it from house to house. That was week 35. At week 36, I started experiencing like the lightning cramps or pains that the app told me that's what it's called, which is basically just the baby like descending into the birth canal and putting pressure on the cervix, from what I understand. Nothing like unbearable, obviously. And then that 36 weeks is when I started experiencing like poor grip in my hands. Now my hands, I think they're swollen a little bit. I've stopped wearing my wedding ring out of fear that they're gonna have to cut it off in labor, just because I've heard so many horror stories of people's hands swelling and them not being able to get their wedding ring off. So I've been wearing a silicone ring. I'm not wearing it today. I think my hands have maybe swelled a tiny bit, but more so than anything, my grip is so poor, and it's getting like progressively worse each week, which is super frustrating. But I started experiencing that in week 36. What my doctor said is we have such small veins in our arms, and when you're pregnant you're pumping like 40% more blood through your body, and so it's just really hard on those veins in your arms to push all the blood to your hands. So it's normal, nothing crazy, nothing abnormal, but the tingling in my fingers and just poor hand grip started at 36 weeks, and I'm looking forward to that going away. 37 weeks, the baby is the size of romaine lettuce, measuring 18.9 inches, 6.17 pounds. It says baby is practicing some cool new skills like inhaling, exhaling, sucking, gripping, blinking. Baby's getting that first sticky poop, so cute, called meconium, ready for his or her first diaper. The only thing really last week that I was experiencing was still poor hand grip. I was getting a lot more strong contractions, to the point where we actually timed some of them 2 nights in a row or 3 nights in a row. It was through the weekend. Like, they were getting kind of painful, and they were like 4 to 5 minutes apart, like 45 seconds in length, and they were freaking me out, but they weren't so painful to the point where I was like, I'm clearly in labor. So we did not go to the hospital, obviously, and obviously I'm still pregnant, but contractions are picking up. My hand grip is decreasing, and baby is quickly consuming my life. But that was at 37 weeks, and then this week, 38 weeks, baby is the size of a winter melon, 19.6 inches long, 6.6 pounds. Baby may have about an inch or so of hair, very likely, because Jacob and I were both born with so much hair. And when I say so much hair, you guys, I don't want you to think just like our head was covered in hair. Like, our head was completely covered in thick hair. Mine was pitch black, Jacob's was very, very blonde. So if this baby comes out bald, I will be shocked. Completely shocked. I don't think she'll come out bald. Every single ultrasound since about 31 weeks at our 4D scan, every single ultrasound we've had, they say like, wow, look at all that hair. So obviously they can see something. So I'm sure she'll have tons of hair. But it says she's also slowly shedding that white gooey stuff on their skin. It's called vernix. And you might still see some of it at birth, but she's starting to shed all of that. Again, my hands are still poor grip. My feet are a little swollen at the end of the day, nothing crazy. But that's about it for symptoms. Overall, this 3rd trimester has been really good. I will agree with what I've heard many people say. The last month goes so slow because you're just so excited, and it's like at that point, really, baby could come whenever. And so I do feel like a ticking time bomb. I just feel like, I don't know, anywhere I go is like, my water gonna break? Am I gonna go into labor? Like, do I need to wash the bedding one more time? Is our laundry done? Like, I just feel like I need to be ready at any point, and yet it could still be a couple weeks. But at this point, I have been dilated to a 1 for 2 weeks now. I got checked at my 37-week appointment. I was at a 1. This past Monday, I was almost at a 2, not quite a 2, but not a 1, so a 1.5, I guess. So my body is starting to do what it needs to do to bring baby into this world, and we're getting very excited. Hospital bags are packed. Nursery is set up. Obviously, she won't use that for a while. Bassinet is in our room ready to go. We have both our nightstands stocked with diapers, wipies, all the things you could need in the middle of the night. And we're ready. I think we're ready. As ready as one can be. But I will say, like, I have had a pretty smooth pregnancy. Do I love pregnancy? No. I love not feeling like I have a rock hard bowling ball in my belly. But I am so excited to meet her and to be able to experience this and to be able to give our family a baby, something that we've always wanted. So we are super excited. I hope she comes sooner rather than later, so she's not a Christmas baby. I was born on December 28th, so I've always been like please come earlier so that we can really celebrate your birthday before the craziness of the holidays. But you know, we'll take her when she comes, and we are just so excited. So hopefully this was insightful to you. Hopefully you enjoyed these videos. Hopefully I'm not pregnant for that much longer. And if you are enjoying these and you want to continue following our family and our journeys and what we experience through life, be sure to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I would love to hear any of your symptoms. Can you relate to the tingling in the hands, in the poor grip? I haven't heard many people experience that. I'd never heard it before, but I would love to hear what some of your symptoms were if you've been pregnant before through the 3rd trimester. What trimester was your favorite? I still have to say, I think the 3rd trimester was my favorite. Everyone said I would hate it because I'd feel huge. Yes, I feel huge, but I know the end is near. And because I know so many of you will want to see a 3rd trimester bump date, I'm gonna toss that in right now before we end this video. So here is my 38.5 week baby belly.
I wanna get to your clothes, gonna get it right now.
So I'm super excited. I will talk to you in our next video. Talk to you later.